Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
Always hungry.
All right. As always, I am Bob who tells by Bob.
I'm the ass of the podcast, Derek.
I'm always hungry, Tanya.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hungry hippo over here.
We're very much a one take. Like it is incredibly rare for us to start a podcast over.
Episode. The podcast is the whole thing. It's an episode that we're doing.
Oh my God.
It's so rare
Semantics matter.
It's so rare for us to restart an episode. We did such a bad take that 2 minutes in,
No.
we
No. We didn't do a bad take. Derek
You
and I
were
were doing
literally
just fine.
reading the bag of raised
I was
potato
trying to kill
chips.
time while you were scrolling through your email. Unprepared.
Oh my God! Speaking of that email, what kind of sparked all? First off, if you will leave us a review on iTunes, we will read it on the air. We finally got enough reviews on iTunes that it actually shows we're rated 5 stars on iTunes, but people aren't really leaving reviews; they're just leaving stars. And as much as I do love and appreciate the stars, I'd like some reviews so they can read them on the air. That'd be neat.
Yeah.
So leave us a review on the iTunes, and we'll read it on the air. But, so, back in December,
Yikes.
we got an email from Les, and I didn't realize that our emails weren't forwarding to my actual email account, the booksbeardsbooze at Gmail, which you can email us at booksbeardsbooze@gmail.com and talk to us. And I didn't realize they weren't forwarding, so I missed this. But here we go.
Whoopsie.
Dear Bob, Derek, and unpaid intern Tanya,
Yay.
I was listening to your discussions on Dune and was inspired to write in. First, Bob is right that it's one of the best books ever. Personally, Children of Dune is the better book of the series, but it suffers from having you traverse the novel long prologue that is Dune Messiah beforehand. Second, if you're looking for another dense classic to tear into for Season 3, I would like to recommend my personal favorite book of all time, Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert A. Heinlein. I don't know if you've ever read it, but I would love to hear your thoughts, even though Tanya will probably hate it with an intense passion.
That sounds like me.
Looking forward to Season 3. We might do some Heinlein at some point, but I don't think we'll do Stranger in a Strange Land. Although I do want to read that, I don't think y'all would like it. Oh, I don't think Tanya would like it, so...
Maybe as
I was going to say, you don't know my life.
Season wrap up, give me some time to read it while I can read it and something else. Because I don't want to push. If it's going to be Dooney, I don't want to push through it. And
It's going to be shorter than Dune, I think. But I don't know. We'll investigate.
Let's think about it.
We'll think about it.
Let's please the listener.
I do appreciate old Les sending us a message. And, it was kind of brief, but, sometimes less is more.
I was waiting on it. How does he ever talk to you anymore? Like, you make that joke every time.
I do. Every time I see him, just about.
God, how does he not punch you right in the face?
Because he's a good friend.
God, my socks are adorable.
This is where we're going with this podcast. Anyway, all right. So this is
Pushinicorns.
This is
Very
our
appropriate for H.P. Lovecraft Day.
This is our monthly short reads episode. If you haven't, zip over to booksbeardsbooze.com, click on the short reads tab, and there are 2 links there to some H.P. Lovecraft stories, The Cats of Ulthar and The Doom That Came to Sarnath. And I picked these stories, and people probably won't like them as much as I do, but okay.
But you're Bob of Tales by Bob, so
yeah.
Fuck it.
So we did The Rats in the Walls on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Which was real good.
Yeah. But here's the thing. H.P. Lovecraft is best known for Cthulhu and shit. Mm-hmm. But my favorite stuff he wrote is his non-Cthulhu shit, which is what's known as his dreamland cycle, or his dream cycle. So Lovecraft was heavily influenced by a man named Lord Dunsany. Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. And so the dreamland stuff is more Dunsany-esque.
Okay.
And so both of these stories were written in 1920. This was kind of the period where he's writing the most of his dreamland stuff. He would write it on into like the early 30s, but really the bulk of it is written around here. So, what did y'all think? Tanya.
I enjoyed The Cats of Ulthar. Because, 1, cats.
Yeah.
2, kind of a dream for me. Being a cat lady would be to die and have the cats clean my skeleton and then have people just show up at my house and be like, we ain't seen that bitch in a while, and show up at my house and I'm just like a picked over skeleton in my house.
She's a serial killer.
So when that happened to the people in the cabin, I was like, oh great, 1, it's vengeance, and 2, I want that to happen to me after I'm dead. I don't want to be eaten alive by cats. I want to already die. You can see Bama eating me. I can see Bama eating me now. He's like 27 pounds.
That cat, at least 30.
He's so fat and adorable. I love him so much.
I don't think I want to know you two anymore.
Well, let's just talk about the Cats of Ulthar first.
Yeah.
All right, so you like Cats of Ulthar.
Yeah.
Derek, did you like Cats of Ulthar?
It was okay.
Okay.
My opinion on both of these, spoiler alert, is they were okay.
Okay. That's fine.
Like, I found Cats of Ulthar easier to read. The story was more straightforward, and I mean, I liked the story itself better, so I was more engaged. But I liked it. I didn't like how the village people were like, oh, well, lost another cat. Well, I guess I'll get another one. Until the traveling band of people came on, and the kid was like, "You fucking killed my kitty!"
Yeah.
Which I feel that rage.
Yeah.
So, no, I enjoyed the Cats of Ulthar. I don't know if I liked it better than Rats on the Walls. I know we're not talking about that, but I think I liked Rats on the Walls better because there was just more to it.
More meat on that bone.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
the Cats of Ulthar, I enjoyed it.
There was it was kind of weird. Like someone who's a big Lovecraft fan might listen to this and like just really ream me out. There's kind of like there's a hard to find a good in between on these. So it was like I could give you these two that are kind of shorter, or like
Ones that are practically novellas.
yeah, like some of the stories get real long.
Yeah.
And I just I kind of erred on the side of
No, I mean, I was
shorter.
perfectly happy with Cats of Ulthar, but
yeah.
yeah.
Cats of Ulthar is my favorite of the Dreamlands
Yeah.
stuff, I think. But the Doom that came to Sarnath, just the tone of that story has stuck with me more than almost any Lovecraft story.
Yeah.
Derek, thoughts?
So I have thoughts,
Yeah.
but it's gonna kind of go into why I am not a huge Lovecraft fan.
Fair.
I don't know if we want to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, just dive in. We'll just talk about whatever.
Well,
yeah.
so here's the thing. There are certain categories that I look at books in or writing.
the categories of Ulthar, yeah.
Okay, I actually kind of like that one actually. No, so character.
Yeah. It ain't none.
There were none in either one of these, but which is-
Arguably the little kid in the first story, but not really. I mean, you don't get any sort of real
he's
characterization.
a
He's a plot device, not a character.
right. And for example, like this is why I liked Rats on the Walls better. Is there's a character.
Yeah.
I'm following a character, so I have that. So and as we have discovered through conversation, I kind of need a character in a story.
Yeah.
So that was a strike against it.
True.
Then the pros. This is all telling, no showing. I like showing. This is not for me. Then also you get to the part where so that's those two.
I'll say this. I think, all right, so in somewhat of a defense, while fully acknowledging that this is a lot of telling, not showing, in somewhat of a defense of that, that's a little more in line with the style
of
the
writing
time.
at the time.
But that's
Exactly.
not to say that,
Which is why
you should like it.
No.
But also, partly that's in line with the time. But also, I think to a degree, because even this is a little bit more telly than showy than other Lovecraft stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
I-
I like. That's what I'm saying.
But I think that may have been a conscious choice, because I think, and I don't really know, but I almost feel like Lovecraft was kind of like
telling a history.
well, partly it is telling a history,
which is again,
but also he talks about in another story the Dreamlands appear different to every person in it. So, like, everyone who goes to the Dreamlands, they appear slightly different. So I almost wonder if that may have been a conscious choice of, like, a lot of telling to give you more room to do your own showing to a degree. And I don't know that, but it's something I've kind of always...
That's not... So I'm going to push back on that in the fact that there was an... That's not exactly what I mean. When I'm saying showing, or telling rather than showing, he's just telling me a narrative of a story, not letting me experience what is actually happening. I'm not experiencing the story, I am being told the story.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that. Because in the Doom that
came to Sarnath.
Came to Sarnath, there is a epic crap ton of description in that. Like, there is a... It describes
the glowing green water.
The entire city is outlined.
All these gems that I had to go and be like, what the fuck does that even look like?
Right.
Go tab over and be like, oh.
So I was listening to this and I was like, I know if I say I don't like this, Bob's going to be like, but you like description. I was like, I do, but...
This is too much description.
Well, that too, but also I'm being told it's not letting me...
I'm thinking more of the Cats of Ulthar. It doesn't really have
I felt like Cats of Ulthar was more... It felt like, for me, more of a fairy tale, so I didn't expect to...
To me, it was like a fucked up Just So story by Rudyard Kipling is kind of the vibe I got.
But also, here, I'm glad we talked about this because I had kind of gotten to a point where I had forgotten my point. My next point is plot. Both of these plots, there was nothing that surprised me about it at all. Like, it was just like... So when I'm reading a book, I need a character that I can latch onto, which I didn't have in these short stories. I need it to let me experience the story along with somebody. I didn't get that. It was being told to me. And then the plot, I wasn't surprised at any point.
Yeah.
It was just kind of things went along the... So it's not for me. But it's not that it... I'm not saying it was bad. It's not for me.
I think those are all fair critiques.
Yeah, that's fair.
But there was one of those things where I was like, but I did enjoy the story.
I think I just have a weird soft spot for stories like this. Like, these are, like, and I don't know why, but I just love stories like this.
Well,
like,
I love
these, like, tiny, like, historical fairy tale-y,
I love the feel of it. Like, I don't even know
atmosphere almost.
Yeah, like the feel of is fucking fascinating to me. Like, that's why I want to like his stuff a lot more than I actually do.
Yeah.
Because the idea of the mind fuck and the past history and like this super and it's not these aren't Cthulhuian, but the Cthulhu.
There is a very slight overlap. Like, they make reference to like Night Gaunt and Azathoth and Nyarlathotep Thotel.
But stuff like that, like
these are generally considered to be their own.
But
thing.
the feel is a feel I really enjoy. It's just the stories themselves are never structured in a way that I can appreciate.
I'd be interested to get you to read one of the longer ones that's more traditionally a story. So I might sling one your way. I mean, you can find them all for free online. I mean, the stuff's open source. So, Tanya, you look like you had something you wanted to...
Oh, I was just listening.
Oh.
Well, when it got to the Doom...
the Doom of Sarnath.
Yeah, the Doom that came to Sarnath.
Yeah. I enjoyed the overarching story about that just kind of retribution kind of thing. And it's like...
Did you sing the Doom song?
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah.
It's made as a reference for all you people out there.
So, I mean, I enjoyed the overarching story, but it became too descriptive. Or like, if I'm having to tab over to figure out what it is you're talking about, can you just...
What's a barrel light? What's a
chrysolite? And then I finally was just like, fuck it. I'm not... It's just going to be cool. A bunch of gemstones all over everything.
Honestly,
opulent,
I couldn't
ridiculous.
tell you what either of those really look like. And I'm somewhat of a rock guy, a little bit. Not like...
I mean, I thought you were real into rock.
Not anymore. He's more of a bluegrass guy.
Yeah,
fair.
I'm really into that folk punk. Yeah. But no, like my dad was a petroleum engineer.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, I know, like, lapis lazuli or whatever. I think that's
lapis
blue.
lazuli. Yeah, but like, so
onyx is black.
Whenever I come across stuff like that, most of the time, like, if it's just part of a description and I know it's a gem, most of the time I don't even look it up. It's a gem of some sort. I don't really
Unless
need
it
to know
plays
what
a central part, like I need to know the
because here's
color
kind
of
of
it for
the
the
thing.
plot. or
I've
something.
realized a lot of colors that I thought like words that were colors. I have the completely like wrong idea of what color that is.
I'm sorry. Example.
Yeah, please.
Like taupe. What color is taupe?
It's kind of like a gray purple.
Yeah, I thought it was green.
No.
No.
Yeah. What color was mauve? One of them. What color
A
is mauve?
purple as well.
See, I thought it was like a red. But there's a few, like there's just a few colors over the years that I've never seen. I've just read them, and
Yeah.
I've just established my own context for them.
So now you don't want
You don't-
reality to interfere
Yes,
with
I
that?
just like it's like whatever. I just like
One
color.
that
Yeah.
always got me, and I still don't know that I'm entirely is ochre or
Okay, is that
It's kind of the
orange?
reddy brown.
yeah,
Okay.
right. It's the only reason I because I was reading a lot for momentum, and I had to look it up. I was like, oh, it's the color of dried blood. Got it.
Yeah, it's
Makes
like a
perfect
kind of a
sense.
reddy brown.
Yeah.
I learned that
me
when
forever.
Lion King fanfic from middle school.
The
Anthropomorphic
what,
Lion
like,
King fanfic.
What
Well,
is that
they're-
color for?
Chartreuse. What color is chartreuse?
No
it's kind of
idea.
a green.
Yeah, totally thought that was
Well,
like a
I
purple.
think this also might be like a guy versus girl thing because
didn't
girls
know
see
that
more
one.
colors, and that, I mean,
But purple versus green, that's extreme.
Look, my thing is I know these things because I would use colors.
I also took art classes when I was in like.
I wrote in a
schools.
hyper detailed style at one point and used colors interchangeably so that I wouldn't reuse the same word.
Yeah.
In a lot of instances in which colors could be variable in like energy or something like that, because I could make the argument that they've just been like changing.
Yeah.
So I know a shit ton of ways to say blue,
Yeah.
but
You know, there are places that don't have the word for blue. Like there are cultures that don't have a word for blue.
Yes.
yeah.
I went super deep on that subject about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Seeing blue. And in the cyberpunk setting that me and Brand Ambassador Ryan are working on,
Yeah.
we use the concept of seeing blue to reference if an AI is aware of the fact that it is an AI, it's considered to be able to see blue. The concept of seeing blue means like self-awareness kind of deal. There's actually there's a tribe in Africa that has like 40 different words for the color green. And you can show them a chart that I looked at this exact same chart. It was like a circle. It was 12 green circles.
Yeah.
And they were like, pick out which one of these is a different color green. And I could not do it. But this tribe,
Every single time.
every single time they can do it. And kind of similar for like blue. Like one of them's blue. And like, some people can't see the blue.
Yeah.
But like, it's actually going back to like literature and language. Blue, the word blue, like takes like, we didn't see blue until relatively recently, like maybe like 1,000 years ago or something like that. Did we ever start like?
So you're telling me I'm a hipster because my favorite color is blue,
Well,
and I'm
like
like, oh
the-
well, of course you
the-
like that. It's so new.
No
People don't
word
even know
for
about
blue like ever shows up. Like when people are describing the sky, they don't describe it as blue and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
so, it's kind of neat. Like look up the concept of seeing blue. It's fascinating.
But yeah, the doom that came to Sarnath. Let's bring it back. But no, like I enjoyed the overarching story, but it kind of got rambly and wordy. I didn't like how it was written.
Lovecraft is very wordy.
There was too much like in this room they're eating on 17 plates and this one's colored red and this one's colored gold and they're eating this fish and I was first of all, you threw all these bodies in a lake and then you're gonna eat the fish that came out of that lake?
it. Oh, so long
that-
ago.
that was
It
1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Gross.
The other thing is, Lovecraft, one of his biggest influences beside Lord Dunsany is Poe. And think about Poe with the mask of the Red Death.
Yeah.
Every room is a different
Yeah.
color
Yeah.
and a theme like that. So like he really loved that like description, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So again, not like a justification, just an explanation.
Yeah. But I did like how things were, even though you had all of that description, there were still so many things left vague that you could make it be what you wanted it to be. So, like, you've got these people who are just fleeing from the city with looks of terror, but you don't get a good description of that. You get to imagine it however you want it to be. He gives you just enough to just imagine this terrifying scene.
Well, I mean,
however,
that's a-
the way
that's
it's
a-
I
scary
always
for you.
imagine them as like the old Bible cartoons, like as Hebrews running from something.
I would just okay. Well, we're gonna move past that. But
You never watched like those old like Bible
Tilt.
cartoons?
Just
Tilt.
stop.
No.
just
What?
moving on.
What?
It's a very. It's actually a thing I equate with Lovecraft. I don't know if it's something that other people did before him, although I assume it was, and I don't know if it was done on purpose. But the idea of not being too descriptive about the thing that's terrifying, because you leave it.
Well, that's definitely. I don't know how much people did that before him, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something
Yeah.
like a lot of times like his.
Because
It's
he'll-
describing the indescribable, like
Right, so he'll be like something that's so twisted and so
Yeah.
it's like you can't describe something
a
that's so
common-
weird that makes someone go insane by looking at
yeah,
it.
a common thing is like non-Euclidean geometry, like corners and angles that don't make sense. Well, you can't.
Describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't describe that. Like, tell me what's a non-Euclidean angle? Like, what? Like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And so,
I just start
Yeah.
seeing weird shit in my head. I'm like, it hurts, and I
Yeah.
stop.
Hypnofrog. But no, so I liked.
no toad.
Oh, Hypnotoad. Excuse me. Jeez, what a fucking pleb. So,
Come correct or don't come at all.
but yeah,
Come
I
with King, you
liked.
best not miss.
I liked that. Like he's talking about like basically the bog creatures, and he kind of gives you like, all right, flappy lips. Got some ears happening here. There's a little of this.
Bug
you just
eyes.
kind of figure out.
Yeah.
You put anything else, but here's the bones of it.
Yeah, they're Kuatoa
Flappy
from
lips.
D&D. Basically, is how I always imagine them. Kuatoa for those.
I was thinking
D&D
about like
players out there.
the swamp thing.
You know, also kind of what I could see them looking like. Did y'all ever see the Hobbit movie, the Ralph Bakshi
Probably,
animated?
but it's been a long time.
The animated Hobbit movie, what Gollum looks like. That was really kind of creepy. Like Ralph Bakshi, I don't know how much y'all know about him, but he did War Wizards. He did Fire and Ice. Anything ringing a bell here?
No.
He did.
You know, we spent Christmas Eve watching all those 80s cartoon trailers, and I didn't really watch any of those.
Okay. Well, Ralph Bakshi decided that cartoons shouldn't be just for kids.
Yeah.
So he started making movies. He did. I think he may have done Roscoe and the Ratchet Nim. Maybe. Did y'all see that one? No.
Secret of Nim.
Yeah, but it's
seen
based.
that.
It's based on. It's based on.
I used to watch the shit out of the Secret of Nim. We had one of those giant ass console TVs that you had to put on wheels to wheel around. There's pictures of me and my little 2-year-old ass like plastered up to that glass like fucking Secret of Nim, baby.
All right, so he did Fritz the Cats. He did Cool World, American Pop. I don't know. He did a bunch of movies. Anyway, Fire and Ice. But he did the art style that he did for a lot of these was kind of creepy.
Yeah,
And because they're designed for adults, and you can get away with creepier stuff than what
True.
kids would
true.
Yeah.
do. And Gollum was real creepy. I remember I was on a field trip, and we went to CC's when it was back over there by where Sam's used to be.
Yeah.
And that movie was on the TV. I was like, wow, Gollum's real creepy. And I always kind of imagined them
Back when
looking
their
like
buffet
Gollum.
was like $2.99.
So
It's only like $5.99 now.
Let's
You know, back on Pi Day, it was
Hey.
$3.40.
Yeah,
Hey.
reeling it in. Reeling
Reeling
it
it
in.
Sorry,
in.
got distracted by pizza.
Why are these your favorite?
Of them, the Doom that came to Sarnath is, I used to abso-fucking-lutely hate any mystery. Like when a book or a story would end without the answer, I hated it. I just hated it with a passion. I was like, God damn it, I read this book. You're going to give me the fucking answer, like what the mystery was. And as I started to write, no, I get it now. Sometimes you just want to leave that mystery because you can't maybe you can't come up with a good idea for what the mystery is. Or maybe you just know that whatever people can come up with in their heads is going to be better than what you can come up with.
Yeah, like what's in the case and on Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
What's in the briefcase.
It's clearly it's his soul, but the soul of Marcellus Wallace.
Yeah. That's why he had abandoned it back in his
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
Anyway.
I know, but but the Doom that came to Sarnath is one of those stories. Like, yeah, it's heavily implied that it was these creatures come back kind of deal, but it's never like explicitly stated. Like, it's kind of just like, oh, what else going on here? Like, there's just. And it hints, like, part of why I like Lord of the Rings so much is, like, it hints at so much history. Like, little throwaway lines, like, imply so much else to the world. And so, like, Doom Came to Sarnath, like, you get one tiny quasi-story about one city, but it hints at so much else. And, like, so much rich history and yada, yada, yada. And to me, it's, like, because it's real fucking short. And, like, the tone, like is impeccable, and just like the hints at so much more. I just really love that. Also, like, it's very descriptive. Excuse me, but to a large degree, it's kind of clear description. A lot of Lovecraft stuff it can be kind of purpley.
A lot of words that don't necessarily.
Yeah. And sometimes you're just slogging through words. Like, this has a lot of description, but to me, it never feels like a slog. Like, sometimes Lovecraft can be a bit of a slog. Like, his description is just a bit whatever. But this, like, even though it's a lot of description in Doom Camp Sarnath, I just really fucking love it. And Catches That Come to Ulthar, I love, like, justice stories kind of deal. It's part of why I love that. It's like, okay, people who are shitty to cats. Like, I'm not saying people who are shitty to cats should die. If this was in real life, I wouldn't want those people to get eaten by cats.
Some of us wish that for ourselves.
But in a story, just like the kind of the justice, and just like, again, it also hints at so much history there. It's like, hey, they don't fuck with cats in Ulthar.
They do what they want.
Here's why.
Yeah.
And like I said, it reminds me of a fucked up Just So story by Rudyard Kipling, and I love the Just So stories by Rudyard Kipling. And so this is like a Just So story for grown-ups.
Yeah.
And I like that.
I love how the cats were like, when they came back after that night, they were like, nah, bro, I don't need to eat. I'm real full. Like, all the cats in town were like,
that's why
I'll pass.
That's why it's fiction.
Oh, yeah, because, no,
They'd
you're
have
right.
tried to
Cats
eat
would
and
eat.
then throw that shit back up.
Bama would have eaten both of those people by himself, come back and meowed at you as though squawk. He doesn't meow.
There's food literally in the bowl.
Yeah, and he would demand more food and
Yeah.
then puke on your clean clothes.
He doesn't do that often. He normally goes and pees in the living room on the floor.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's better.
It is. At least it's not carpet. So, but yeah, I enjoyed these stories.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. I mean, like, these are really short, so there's not that much to go into.
Yeah.
And,
The Doom at Sarnath was 18 minutes long.
was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Where did you listen to it at?
YouTube.
Oh, okay. Oh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I may have been unable to access the H.P. Lovecraft page at work.
Okay.
So I was like, I wonder if they have any of these on YouTube, because I can just listen to them while I'm working.
I mean, because like I said, they're all in the public domain.
Yep.
That's why I was surprised when it didn't pull up. Because I was like,
Yeah.
it's not like it got taken down. Like,
Yeah,
it's
no.
free. Like, I could...
So, next month is Poetry Month. So we haven't quite nailed down exactly how we're going to do it. There's probably not going to be a read for y'all to read. That's probably not how we're going to do this. We're probably just, with every episode, one of us is going to read you a poem that we like. And probably it'll just be me or Tanya, because Derek doesn't want to read poems on the air. And I don't really blame him. But
He can pick. I'll read.
But yeah, so we're each going to pick a couple poems to read to y'all. So probably not going to do a short read episode, because also we're not poetry people for real. So we're not really going to discuss. Like, I
am the pentameter.
I ain't got 30 minutes on talking about a story.
We could talk
Or
about
a poem.
Shakespeare and how he
I can-
invented all these words.
I
That was
can-
important.
That is neat,
I
but-
can give you 30 minutes on a poem, but I don't want to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, we could, like Kubla Khan, like that poem fascinates the fucking me.
Oh, no,
That's
I mean,
probably gonna be one of my picks. But,
well, probably Robert Frost, Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
I wrote a
Ralph Bakshi movie. Callback.
I wrote a
Pear salad.
a
Also
whole-
callback. But you wrote a whole paper on
I
it.
wrote a whole paper on it, analyzing it, and it was one of the more enjoyable experience. So the dirty secret is I actually really like poetry. It takes time and to like go.
It's hard for
through,
me to
and I
sit
don't
down and read poetry at length. Like I can read a poem or two, but it's hard for me to sit down and
Oh,
read
no.
a book of poems.
There-
This
I'm
bitch
not gonna
got
s-
that Rupi Kaur book and has had it for a year.
I'm
I've
going
read
to
most
sit
of it,
down
too.
and read like one or two of them and like break it down. Like that's what I would end up doing.
Oh, no. I don't
I'm
wanna
not
do
going
that. I
to.
just want to read
Yeah.
it and be done.
But yeah, so y'all don't have anything to read for next month. We're going to read to y'all, you special little snowflakes.
Story time.
But then the month after that, I think we're going to let
Yikes.
Tanya pick us a couple stories.
Yikes.
Oh,
no.
Lord. Oh,
no.
Lord. Oh, Lord, baby Jesus. So,
Buckle them seatbelts, y'all.
yeah. So, all right.
Y'all
it-
going to do that while I'm out of town?
Oh, you are going to be out of town for part of that, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure
Figure
it
it
out.
out.
Figure it out. All right. So in the coming week, as you are embraced in the bubble wrappy goodness that is your coming few days,
Will you
It's not
plan
the
these?
beginning
bef-
of the week.
huh?
It's not the beginning of the week. This is the end of the week.
Well, there's always a coming week.
Will you write
Where-
these
where-
down? I feel
where-
like you're just.
where-
I mean,
think
weeks
you're just
start
making
on
these up,
Sunday
Bob.
or Monday, dude. Weeks don't start on Wednesdays.
Why
They
can't
end on Wednesdays
Why
for
can't
Bob.
they? Why can't they?
Yeah. Are you trying
My
to say
week- my
that his
weekend-
lived experience doesn't count?
Is my living experience not valid to you?
Well, he speaks his own existence into reality, so who
another
am I
callback.
to
Another
argue
callback.
with that?
But as
Be careful, or you won't be anybody. He'll unmake
right,
you.
I'll make you.
No.
But to answer your question, Derek, no, I don't think of these ahead of time. I basically look around the
Yeah,
room and try
I
and find.
figured.
I see you
yeah.
looking around.
That was why I said, "Hey, maybe write some."
No,
Like just
no.
In the coming week, don't let your week be like a half full bag of trash hanging
God.
from the wall.
Hey,
Way to put him
the-
on blast.
Leave the ad lib into me.
I'm a ad lib that ass.
Damn. All right. Yeah, something, blessings, beards.
By
upon
the blessing of the beard,
Be
be all
upon-
up on y'all.
be up all on y'all. Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Books, Beards, Booze. Our co-hosts are Bob, Derek, and Tanya. Our producer is Bob. For more information, visit our website, booksbeardsbooze.com. Follow our social media at Tales by Bob. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. Okay, bye.